The Boston Celtics take game one over the Philadelphia 76ers, 109-101 on Monday night. I'm Sierra Goodwill. We got the whole gang here tonight. Nick Josue, Cedric Maxwell, and Josue Pavon. The dynamic duo, they were at it again, the two Jays, Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, combined for 61 points, their most as a playoff tandem. Tatum, postseason career high, 32. They both got hot at different times. Brown, especially in that fourth quarter with some really timely buckets. What impressed you about their poise tonight in the first game of the playoffs? We can start with you, Josue.
I'm just going to say how people I don't know if it's just because of how good the offense is for the Celtics, and maybe it is against the Sixers team because defensively they look so different without Ben Simmons out there. But Jaylen Brown just is wide open throughout the second half. It almost seems like opponents throughout the first half, they buckled down on the perimeter, and then they almost forget about him. And then it was easy to forget about him when Jayson Tatum went out for 15 third-quarter points. So, again, when you have him in the open space, when you have someone who can blow by defenders, I mean, can you name a guy on the Sixers that's not named Ben Simmons that can truly stay in front of him in the open court? I just can't think of one. So when the Celtics offense really gets going the way it does, especially when it's picking off of Tatum's high scoring, that's when things really open up, and that's when you see Jaylen Brown shine.
Dude, if they don't get you with the left, they're gonna get you with the right, and that's how it is. It's gonna boil down to that. I almost feel sorry for Al watching him out there trying to go up against those young two kids right there. It reminds me of watching Nick. You know, we'll go together with this. Put you in old school, a Roadrunner and Coyote. I mean, yeah. That's what it looks like when I'm watching Al out there and he's trying to. Matter of fact, Brown went by him so fast one time that he did the lariat and grabbed him around the neck and spun him around. It's just the foot speed. When you're an older player, I'm telling you, that's the first thing to go. First thing you start doing is when you get older, you use your hands. You don't use your feet anymore. You use your hands trying to slow these young guys down, and there's no slowing down those two guys, especially if Al is in the mix.
Yeah, I mean, the dynamic duo. Tatum was, shaking and baking, man. I've seen him do that a couple times since the quarantine. I don't know anybody who's gotten better than Brown off season to season. And then another one during the quarantine, he seemed to just go to a different world. I can't remember any duo, don't say Paul Pierce and Antoine Walker, that Celtics fans can be this.
Why can't I say that?
Because, Max, did you for 1 minute think that they were going to win a championship?
I didn't think they were going to win a championship, but I think Brown and them still, are they going to win? They're capable of winning, but Paul Pierce is right knocking at the door.
I knew Josue was going to get
those two guys to me were dynamic.
Nick, you know what I'm about to say. You know that dynamic duo was second to Kobe and Shaq in 2000.
Josue, I'll put it like we'll put it so Josue can understand it. That is akin to me saying something about Big Poppy. You might see it. Don't walk on my CD, all right?
No, that's not that far, but come on, man. Yes, and Antoine Walker, they were one of the best duos.
Josue, hear me out. Now, were you ever at one point during the Twan Pierce era, which I no disrespect to them, but were you ever at one point in September saying, "Oh man, I think we could compete for a title this year"? Like the Nets series at 2001 or whatever, that was kind of an aberration, right? That was not 2002. That was not, anticipation. Where now these guys are so young, they're so mature. I mean, you look at. Sierra said it. Jaylen Brown is scoring 15, or maybe you said it, Josue, in the third. Jayson Tatum in the third, Jaylen Brown in the fourth. And I don't remember a duo scoring 60 points, maybe since you and Larry, Max. I don't know. Maybe Kevin and Larry.
That's tough. I think that what you look at is that you have two young guys. Well, look, the Celtics really in good shape, though. When you think about your two best players being as young as they are, and one guy already locked in with a long-term contract, and you're going to lock the next guy up with a long-term contract, the Celtics are in absolutely great shape. Danny has managed his team the right way, and the pieces right now just seem to fit.
And what does it do for guys like Kemba Walker when these two are cooking like that? We spoke to him after the game, and he was like, it's so fun to be a part of these guys' growth, and we just try to get him the ball because Kemba said he thought he got all the shots that he wanted tonight. He wasn't shooting particularly well, but he got away with it because he had those guys to pick up his slack. Does it take away from what Walker is able to do when these guys are playing that way, or does it actually create more opportunity for him?
Let me tell you what Kemba is. Kemba,
I was just about to. Okay, I'll let you go.
Kemba is right now. He's a jockey, and those guys are the horse. You know, that's what I did when I got older. You know, you're not trying to do all these other things, but you got those young guys. You might as well get on them and ride them. I had a Akeem Olajuwon who I played with when I was older. And he asked me one time, oh, don't you want to score some points? I said, dude, I ain't trying to score no more points. I don't need no more points. I'm trying to ride your damn back. And I think that's what the beauty of this is, which you look at Kemba. Kemba has been in the league 12 years and has not won one playoff series.
Incredible.
How hard is that to do? Being in the NBA as good as he is.
Yeah. Right. That's why I think he's the happiest player on this Celtics team because you look at what he's been through. He's finally in a situation where he's like, look, I could go 3 for 10, 4 for 11, go into the fourth quarter with the Celtics still up, and then I can say, okay, now it's my turn to take over. That's a luxury for the Celtics right now because you have Kemba Walker in a space where he doesn't have the pressure of, okay, I need to dominate and take over. He can work with 2 other guys and then find his zone, find his niche, his time to take over and capitalize. And we've seen him do it.
Think about it this way too, guys. I mean, Kemba was able to pretty much rest on a minutes restriction for the last 8 games of the season, however many it was. If anything, Tatum and Brown are extending his career. Saw this year's first time he's been really injured in his entire career, right? So, but he had the ability to rest, and they actually increased their win total. So, I mean, I think it's a win-win.
Nick, you would love this because I'll go back to your era. When you when you're talking about extending somebody's career, that's what I think the Celtics were looking at when Len Bias came behind Larry Bird and came behind Kevin McHale. You would have extended their careers because you could have taken some of those minutes and put them in their saddle. But instead, when Len Bias didn't come in, they had to take on and build more minutes up. So I think it shortened their career where you're making a great point. You're saying it helps a guy when he's at the end of his career when he can essentially give the ball over to some of these younger guys and let them carry the load.
Think about it this way, too. In more recent years, I think Rondo extended or facilitated them looking a little younger than they were with the big three.
The second to last run, 2012. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it can only be a positive, especially considering the attitude that Kemba has. I mean, that guy is just ear-to-ear smiles.
That's the key. The key is the attitude of the veterans. Yep. Being able to let go of the reins. I said that to Paul Pierce and to Kevin Garnett one time, and we kept talking about all the different guys who would help them out. And for a while, they said, well, what we have to do, we have to get somebody else to take the ball. And we want somebody else to take the mantle from us. And Jeff Green was that guy. But Jeff Green didn't want to take the mantle. I said, Kevin, you need Jeff Green. I know, Max, we do. Me and Paul are begging him to take more shots. But he wasn't that dude. He wasn't that guy. Those 2 guys right now, Brown and Tatum, they're them dudes.
Yeah. The other thing about Brown too, I don't think anyone's talking about. His passing has gotten so much better. I mean, and with pizzazz, man, no looks. I mean, he's just his whole court. The one thing about Brown that used to frustrate me is I think he was like too smart. His brain thought before his body at times. And here now, I mean, it's caught up because you see it. Like, I've had more moments by some passing that he's had and the dunks. I don't know that any team in the bubble has dunked more than the Celtics. It seems like every play leading up to the playoffs was either a Williams, a Hayward, or a Brown, Tatum dunk.
Right. Well, like you said, Max, the attitude of this Celtics team has been impressive all year round, and it hasn't really faltered now that we're in the restart. We'll continue to keep you updated with all our Celtics playoff coverage on our website at clnsmedia.com, and as always, over on our YouTube channel at Celtics All Access.